Today, I want to show you how to integrate PageProof and Notion. So as an example, I have my task database in Notion, and the goal is that whenever I send a new proof in PageProof, a new task is added in Notion. And when the proof is approved, the task is automatically marked as approved. Let me show you an example. So here I'm on PageProof. I'm going to send this proof. Boom. In a couple of seconds, that created a task in Notion. Now I'm going to go back to the dashboard, open the proof, and approve it. It's approving, and on the other side, this was automatically marked as approved. Hi there, I'm Andres. I work at Pronex, and we are an automations and integrations agency. We can help you integrate all your tech stack and automate all your workflows. If you're watching this on YouTube, there is a link in the description below to book a discovery call so we can talk about your specific projects and ideas. Now, I'm going to show you how to build this PageProof Notion integration using Zapier. The first thing we're going to do is to go to zapier.com, and once you log in, you click on Create a Zap. This will bring you into this interface, which is where we build workflows. When working with Zapier and planning for workflows, we usually go with the formula, when this happens, do that. The when this happens part is mapped at the trigger level, and the do that is mapped at the action level. So when a new proof is created, I want to send it to Notion. So the workflow we are trying to automate is when a new proof is created, create an item in Notion. We're going to click in the trigger then, look for PageProof, and see what events can be triggered from PageProof. So we can trigger PageProof whenever there is a new approval, whenever there is a new proof approved, whenever a new proof is started, whenever there are new to-dos, so on and so forth. So I'm going with new proof started. Click continue. We connect our account, continue, and then we hit test trigger. What Zapier is doing here is showing us a sample record so we can understand what kind of fields comes together. We get the proof ID, the proof title. We can see proof tags are coming along as well, the proof URL, the owners, and much more information. I hit continue with the select record and then look for Notion. The event we are looking for is create a database item. Let's click continue, select our account, continue, and set up this action. So we need to look for the database we want to update. And this will load all the fields on that database. Notice that we have the standard name, but then we have a tags. I created a property called PageProof ID, the status, and then we can put in some content as well. Let's start with the name. I'm going to add an emoji here, and I'm going to bring the proof title. Then for tags, I can hard code any of the existing tags, or I can bring in the tags coming from PageProof. So I click on custom and map the tags from the trigger. For the PageProof ID, I want to store the ID coming from PageProof. This will become handy later on. The status, this proof just started, so I'm going to hard code this to started. And then for the content, I'm going to pull in the proof URL, the proof message, and any other information that we want to bring in. Let me edit this. Oh, and I forgot the due date. I'm going to map the due date here after selecting if I want to include the time. I'll hit continue, and then I'm going to test this step. I'm going to put Notions side by side so I can see the result. Boom, there you go. A new item was created, bringing in the URL, the message, the tags, and the due date. Perfect. Now, the last step is to publish this Zap or this workflow. So this workflow will start working from now on. It's a good practice to rename Zaps so we can remember what they do later on. That was pretty easy, huh? Now I want to show you the other workflow that will update the item in Notion. This is the workflow to update items in Notion after PageProof approvals. Notice that we have 3 steps instead of 2, and I'm going to explain why. First, we start with the trigger, new proof approved, we select our account, and again, this is all the information that comes together with the trigger. The next step for us is to update a database item, and that's why we have that event here as an action, the third one. So again, we select an account, and if you can see at the action level, we need to inform which item we want to update. Now, Zapier allows us to update existing items by selecting and hard coding it here in this dropdown, but we want this to be dynamic. So to update the correct associated Notion item, to do that, we need to find that item first. So that's why we have this action in Zapier that will find the database item first. To set this up, we select our account, and then we select the database we want to search this item in. We leave everything empty, but so here we input the proof ID coming from the trigger. This will perform a search on that custom field, that custom property we have in Notion. This will give us back the Notion ID. So we have a proof page ID and a Notion item ID as well. And we will use this ID to update the appropriate item. So going back to step 3, at the action level, we select the item we are going to update. Instead of selecting this from this dropdown, we go with custom and we input the ID coming from step 2, the search function. We leave everything empty because we don't want to update any other field, any other property, but the status one. So we hard code approved because this item was already approved. Continue with the step. I have this already turned on. That's why I have this grayed out. This Zap is already working, but in case you haven't, you need to hit publish and this will start working from that time moving forward. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial to connect PageProof and Notion. As you may have seen, Zapier is pretty customizable, so you can imagine you can implement any kind of workflows. For example, if you have different databases for different departments and they need to be informed in specific ways, say you have a proof that needs to be printed, you can send this to the printer room, or you need to inform external vendors or contractors about proofings, well, you can do that on Zapier. Do you have a specific workflow you'd like to learn and explore if this can be automated or not? Find the link in the description below to book a free discovery call with us, and let's see this together on a Zoom call. Talk soon.